I love dogs. I have 3 dogs back home.
I would say I have beer, but I don't.
And I miss them so much.
Yeah,
Is this yours?
So it's nice seeing one.
Yeah.
Hi, Sadie, sweetheart. Oh, yes. Oh, sweet girl.
I have a picture of you kissing her.
Sadie.
Wanna walk around? Try it. It's
1, 2, 3.
No! No! Ah!
Yo?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A little bigger than a 16 to 5 up. Stride change.
That's my Aini. That's my Aini.
DeKalb on Monday, Lebanon on Tuesday, Wichita on Wednesday. We've got one night a 300-mile drive, the next night a 300-mile drive, the next night a 500-mile drive. This is going to be Guerrilla Drum Corps. This is what it's all about.
Wait, is this a family day photo? Yeah. You're in my. Whoa! This is my sacred area.
The long bus rides are killing. Getting off a bus after being on the bus for 8 hours, 10 hours.
It's pretty taxing on the body. So we just have to make sure that we're stretched and just ready to tackle the day, especially on a show day. And it's just mentally challenging.
Oh, I mean, you gotta be on it from when you wake up. Then you get some visual or sectional time, but really it's stretch, warm up, right to ensemble. It's fast paced and you just gotta be on it. Today we just did chunks of movement 5 and then a full run. Like you gotta play the rest of the show like you've been rehearsing it a full day.
Technique looks great. Energy's good. Keep your sternum forward. Gotcha.
It's a little bit of a love-hate relationship. I like it because it's just, we get out here, we get stuff done, and then we get to the show.
You know, it gets tiring after 4 days of shows. Finally get to relax once we get down to Texas, but for the time being, we're just rearing to go. Today at the Blue Devils.
How do you say rain is falling from the clouds? Ame tokidoki kumori. Ame tokidoki kumori. Emi, ame tokidoki kumori. Hi.
The Blue Devils are having kind of a night block off. So tonight we're going to see a movie.
We're gonna go see Monsters University, but we misjudged the showtimes. Yeah. So we're gonna see this instead, which is okay. You know, we'll see our Blue Devil friends in that later.
The house is packed.
We just got in rubbing it down, a little bit of fish bites. Now we're headed 6 blocks to go see Man of Steel.
Yeah!
You know, we're doing the rewrite of Spring, based upon Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. Anytime we do a show, especially with Scott Chandler, it starts with really broad brushstrokes.
It starts at 2:10, and it doesn't stop. And there's not really a good time to catch your breath in this show. That's what makes it hard. It just never stops.
The rhythms are just so like primal, which makes sense considering that Stravinsky was trying to evoke a more primitive aspect.
You know, the big overall character flavor things that we're going for is tribal, primal. You know, a lot of the stuff that influenced the original rite. When Jay and I were brainstorming visual events and things like that, we kept coming back to these singular focused kind of ritualistic moments that either are around a temple, around a fire, around, you know, all these, anytime you think of, you know, any kind of primal group of people in any kind of ritual, it was around an object, whether it was a pyramid, you know, a sacred object, a fire. And so you'll see in the show, like many times we have circles, and in the center of the circle, things are focused on a moment. Opening of the show starts with the big field spread, you know, and our 100 poles that are representative of the 100-year anniversary of the Rite of Spring. But then it quickly develops over the first minute or so into our first ritualistic event that 4 poles gather, we clear out space otherwise, and the whole group gathers and wraps in, and that's our first kind of sensually focused ritualistic moment.
Everything swirls around, we meet in the center, put our horns up and play this fat chord. And just it's the opening motif, just da 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 da, but in like these incredibly dense harmonies, just moving up and down like that.
After that first ritual moment, we start the second production, which is the hip little dance we do there. That really is kind of a continuation of our ritual, but with a modern slant on it. Then that bleeds into now our new events. We got the quad event that comes out. The super cool low brass phrases, bum 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 bum, which is you know, a main melody out of Rite.
Those accents are just like, you never see accents like that anywhere before the Rite of Spring.
And visually too, I mean, the drill is really cool to watch, the pinwheels.
And that builds into our next focused event, which we put more center field. We clear a bunch of poles out into, again, a circle with the center pole, which is, again, our kind of a center of our ritual area. I guess that's when you might start noticing watching the show, like, oh, you first established a ritual area way over on the right-hand side too. We then reset the poles there. We develop a new zone in the middle of the field that's bigger, get the whole group in there. That's super cool. We vacate out of that area. I find it almost a little comical. I feel like we're leaving. I feel like, okay, we're done with this moment. We gave you a cool little section. We're out of here. We're a parade block leaving. Like, we're taking off. The guard's gonna occupy your focus for a while. We're out of here. And just when you think we're about out of there, bam, we hang a right and we come right back at you.
It's iconic Blue Devil moment, especially the end. You know, the jam out, that's always fun.
Because it's just because we don't have a long drive to follow single file. I think we can do it. 5, 6, 7, 8, and go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
The past few weeks, the core has really evolved a lot in that we're starting to reach our stride, getting consistent excellence in run-throughs.
They know the rehearsals are getting shorter and shorter, and they know that what they need to do is step it up. We're just going up from here. We've realized what we need to do in order to keep going up, and they're realizing that pattern.
We're really starting to understand our show, and we're really starting to understand like the vibe and the performance that we're supposed to give off to really bring this show to life.
And we know what we're doing is right. So they're really starting to get grasp of the show and get a character going and just perform as much as they can out of it, and it's really showing.
And in first place with a score of 89.45,
We've only got 2 weeks, 17 days left, and I think everybody just we just want it. Like, we know it's there, and we just are ready to take it now, and we know we can do it. And just from talking to the guys in the pit, and just when I talked to some of the guys in the battery or the horn line, everyone's just like, it's time. Like, it's time to take it. Like, it's right there, and we can have it.
Next week on Inside BD360.
Big weekend going in. We have the Tennessee show, we have Atlanta, which is the third to last regional we have, and that's going to be a big one, I think, for us to pull through.
Whole core is really, really excited to be just getting the show. Like, everybody's starting to really feel it. We're all starting to vibe together. Everybody's just connecting.